Scene 7 of The Matrix, getting the bug out. Neo is awoken from his bed wondering if it was all a dream. Later, we find out it was all real. Later, we find out none of this is real. And later, we find out none of this is real. And it's a film, so it's all not really real. So did he get bugged or didn't he? Yeah, he did. Which means after that, the agents must have, with as much malice as possible, taken him home, changed him into his Minnows pajamas, and worst of all, tucked him in. From my experience with a group of men ripping my shirt open, exposing my delicious abs, pinning me down and injecting me with their squirmy devil, this rarely happens. So maybe these guys aren't so bad after all. After being woken up, Neo receives a mysterious phone call. It's from Morpheus, we can assume. I mean, all the agents need to do to trick Neo into doing whatever they want is just pretend to be Morpheus. For all Neo knows, this is just the agents prank calling him. Morpheus tells Neo that the line is bugged, so they're being listened to, and then goes on to tell Neo that he is the one and that Neo is incredibly important to him. After tactically giving the enemy all the information, Morpheus tells Neo to meet him at the Adam Street Bridge, just in case the tracking bug inside Neo wasn't enough to give away their position. We then cut to Neo at the bridge. A car pulls up. It's Trinity and a gang of lovable miscreants. There's Switch, the cool but rude guy. You got APOC, honestly, he's just a useless guy. And of course you've got Trinity, the Leonardo of the group. Upon getting into the car, Neo is forced at gunpoint to strip. When he doesn't want to strip because he's bloated, Neo is given the choice, our way or the highway. Of course, he's been trying to find these people his whole life. He spent sleepless nights yearning to be a part of this crew. So when given the choice to stay or go, he instantly chooses to leave and has to be convinced by Trinity to stay. At this point, I think he's only staying because he thinks he has a chance of Trinity, which, to be fair, she has been gushing like a waterfall for him, but he shouldn't assume such things. Trinity then has to fish out what the strange men had left inside Neo. Instead of using a wire coat hanger, she uses this epic machine to scoop out the bug in what is a quite tension-filled scene, reminiscent of Alien, with the bug being removed in the end and dumped outside by Trinity. So what was the point of the bug? Was it a bomb? Was it a tracking device? Was it programmed to spam Neo's desktop with sexy lady ads? Whatever it was, it failed miserably. Morpheus literally said into a tapped phone they thought Neo was super important and the one, and the bug still didn't do anything. In the 90s there were more effective and subtle tracking devices already invented. And that's in the real world, not in a world you literally programmed. Now the bug is dealt with, the car stops outside an old building. They climb the stairs and stop outside the door. Who's behind the door? It's a secret, and I bet you'll never guess, so you'll find out next time in Morpheus' proposal. This scene was pretty decent again. Getting the bug out was actually a pretty tense scene. We also got semi-introduced to these characters, which is something, and I basically have no faults with the scene other than Neo's choice to leave as soon as he could. So it gets a 75 for being solid through and through. The next scene is Morpheus' proposal, and if you're feeling a bit ill, a good way to get the bug out would be to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.